Hi everyone, we start now a new episode of What's Happening in Brazil. We begin by taking a look in the most recent news from the country.
President Jair Bolsonaro left a hole of 400 billion reais in the 2023 budget, which is about $80 billion. In addition to this loss, the current budget proposal also diminished important social investments. The new government, which begins the official transition process this week, has to deal with the situation. The president-elect Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has already started talks with the National Congress to try to approve a proposed constitutional amendment to make the so-called spending ceiling flexible. The measure intends to maintain the social cash transfer aid to low-income people and to increase the minimum wage above the inflation. Dissatisfied with Jair Bolsonaro's electoral defeat in the second round of the presidential election, groups of supporters of the current Brazilian president continue to hold copious manifestations in different parts of the country. At the beginning of this week, some highways were once again blocked. Federal highway police officers were sent to end the acts and were attacked by the demonstrators. In videos shared online, gunshots can be heard in the town of Novo Progresso, Pará State, northern Brazil. The Federal Highway Police used tear gas canisters against the people blocking the highways. A child needed medical assistance. In the state of Santa Catarina, southern Brazil, the blockade took place near an Evan shop, a retail chain owned by businessman Luciano Hang, a Bolsonaro supporter. The demonstrations demanded a military intervention in the country. It was organized as an event, with tents, plastic chairs, and a barbecue grill. Objects were thrown at the police officers. Videos published on social media platforms show officers being attacked with chairs and iron bars. 2 officers were injured. Since the end of the elections, police officers have dismantled more than 1,000 copious demonstrations. Brazil's president-elect Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva was invited to attend COP27, a UN event about climate change that started last Sunday in Egypt. Lula may fly to the African country next Monday. His attendance at the event marks Brazil's return to world protagonism related to the environmental agenda, targeted by denialism during the Bolsonaro government. In the last 4 years, the current president encouraged and promoted the deforestation of the Amazon, the world's biggest rainforest. Popular movements and experts state Lula's victory means the resumption of environmental conservation and defense of native peoples. The Norwegian and the German governments have already announced they will resume their participation in the Amazon Fund, which prevents and combats deforestation. Lula also guaranteed the creation of the Ministry of the Native Peoples, which celebrated his election.
During the pandemic in Brazil, the Supreme Federal Court granted an injunction to suspend eviction orders in the country. However, since October 31, the decision is not into force anymore. With the end of eviction suspension, almost 190,000 Brazilian families are at risk of being removed.
Although there is an injunction granted by the Brazilian Supreme Court to suspend evictions during the pandemic, more than 35,000 families were evicted in the country between March 2020 and September 2022. The data were collected by the Zero Eviction campaign. The evictions happened because the measure into effect does not include all the cases. On October 31st, with the end of the rule that prevented some evictions, the situation of the families coping with the housing issues may become even worse.
After this period, if a new decision is not taken, judges will probably put into force the injunctions. Therefore, the families that had the eviction suspended or whose evictions did not happen due to the Supreme Court's decision may see it happen now. It means there will be more families evicted, which increases the housing deficits and frequently the number of people living on the streets.
Maria Assunção and Rony Sena are currently living in the Zé Maria do Tomé camping, located in Chapada do Apodi, Ceará State, northeast of Brazil. They talk about the anxiety they have been living through in recent days.
I'm afraid the injunction ends. I have no place to go. I live here, I grow my plants here, I earn my life from them. My house is here. I don't want this injunction to end because this is a good place. We can't leave them without a home. There are a lot of people who have nowhere to go.
As time is running out, there is this anguish. We don't know where we are going. We live here, we take our livelihood from here, and that's what we are afraid of. Where am I gonna live if I am evicted from here? Where am I going to take my family? I won't be able to survive.
Community leader Georgiane Silva Granceiro closely follows the reality in two camps in the city of Fortaleza, Ceará's capital city. About 100 families live there. They are all in constant fear of being forced to leave their homes.
We don't have a place to put these families. Thus, if the evictions are resumed as they were before, many families will suffer, not to mention that there is no initiatives to place these families. A question remains, where will these families live? There is no longer a program that helps families buy their own houses, and they can also experience violence, be removed from the place where they are living due to financial issues. Those who go to an occupation do so because they need to.
This is the portrait of the country's lack of housing policies. That's what says People's lawyer Cláudio Silva, who helps families facing eviction.
First, collected evictions, that is, actions resulting from judicial measures or administrative measures by public authorities that evict many families, should be removed from Brazilian laws. We must stop seeing as normal the evictions of families and communities. We have to deal with it from the perspective of conflict mediation and assistance to families through housing policies. What the Supreme Court's measures showed and the pandemic made clear was the housing problem in Brazil. So we need to look at it not from the perspective of removing people from where they are, but by providing them with social policies.
In São Paulo, Brazil's largest city, southeastern region of the country, an initiative seeks to give hope through art, health food, and community feelings in the low-income areas.
In the most populous district of the city of São Paulo, Grajaú, a group of educators try to fill in with hope a territory where the state usually does not guarantee rights.
Hunger starts with unemployment and also because of agribusiness. We keep trying to change minds through autonomous work and agroecology, using collective experience through which we exchange things and learn.
Imargem Collective was born in Grajaú in 2006, in the moment of rise of the hip-hop movement, arts and graffiti. The combination of arts from different areas emphasized the occupation of the territory in tune with nature. In 2019, the initiative became an association and started to be guided by 4 lines: healthy eating, urban art, navigation, and permaculture. Every Thursday, an agroecological food fair is organized and recipes are prepared collectively. The products are donated by regional organic producers. They also come from a community garden cared for by all the residents on the banks of the Billings Dam, one of the responsible for supplying the city of São Paulo.
Suco de inhame,
Yams juicy, beet juicy, pumpkin bread, and we are already making shimeji bobó with pumpkin and organic mushrooms from Bororé Island. We separate these pumpkin seeds, germinated them, made seedlings, and this is our garden. Our flower bed pumpkin is here.
Luciana is one of the supporters of the project. She helps take care of seedlings and other plants.
We are gonna stop this thing of eating sandwich, biscuits, cold cuts, and things like that. This place provides people with healthy food. I raised my children. Today they adhere to what I give them with no problem.
Graffiti's power lies on its capacity of having the city as an intervention platform. That's what Tim calls educational roots. Painted trash cans, murals, workshops. Everything is art and transformation in the Grajaú streets.
A gente
We understand that there is enormous potential in a territory like this, since we are on the banks of one of the largest water reservoirs, on the edge of the city's green area. It is in the interest of society to make sure this area lasts. So we believe that we must lead things here and keep doing what we are already doing, which is based on a core relationship between art, education, and this territory, so we can involve more people and also touch them through art, bringing them into a participatory process.
Native of the Grajaú, Franz has 19 years of history sailing in the dam waters. He started when he was an 8-year-old kid. Today, he organizes this front inside the project, which is integrated into the region's public schools. For him, work is a way to democratize education beyond the walls of schools.
I was growing up and realizing the importance of sailing, the importance of respecting the dam, the environment, and so on. I fell in love with this. Since then, I have seen myself as an educator. I wanted to teach the new generations about sailboats. Thus, my nephew's generation and my kids' generation will not let the Grajaú sailboat history die.
Did you like the show? So hit the like button and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We'll see you next week.